Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the Saturday edition of the Coffee Run Live. Wow, that light's really bad. Let me see if I can find a better location. I'm just going to come out and help my husband with the hedging, which, let me tell you, does not really spark joy. But, I guess them's the breaks, huh? So I wanted to talk to you about today. Excuse me while I try and find something that I can use as a makeshift tripod. Let's see if I'd use this and then I don't die of sun exposure in my eyeballs. How's that? Does that work? I think this will work. This is not too bad. Welcome to my front garden. All right, just really quickly, Contentology starts Monday. The links are in the description there. Academy is live on Monday as well, so there's only 2 sleeps to go for both of those and the 30-day radical implementation challenge. If you've got questions about it, let me know. I've had quite a few emails and messages, just people asking where to go and what would best suit them. So if you're curious, let me know. But one of the things, there's a couple of things that I really wanted to talk to you about today, particularly in light of world events that have been going on. And it raises the question, I think, of it's really hard, right? Like, it raises the question of what rules and what parameters should you have on your page and in your groups, and how much should you share, and what do you talk about? So there's been, spending this morning just kind of looking and trying to educate, I guess, myself on different things around, really primarily around racism and things like this. So we've seen a lot of issues over in the States. We're here in Australia. We don't tend to have quite as big, I don't think, we don't seem to have as many visible issues in terms of open racism, and I know that we do with our Indigenous people and things like that. But I guess what it really is brought it again to being front and centre, and it raises the question of how much do you share? Do you start talking about this on your page? How much do you share on your profiles? What rules should you have in place on your page and in your page groups and things like that? And the reason I was thinking about this, I'm a part of a reasonably big international Facebook group that has drawn the line around conversations with things that it's a business group, and the line has been drawn saying that the discussion that is in here needs to be kept to business and things like that. And so, like, I've seen both sides of this in terms of the reaction that's played out. I'm just gonna hope that wind's not too bad for you. Sorry about that. And I'm still kind of mulling this over, so I apologize if I'm a little I'm processing, right? And I thought that because I'm processing this, I thought it would be interesting to have a conversation about it, because it really raised for me, what obligation do we have as content creators? What obligations do we have as business leaders? What obligations do we have as people who are really wanting to change the world and create positive transformation in the world? What obligations do we have to our audiences, to ourselves, to our missions, and to everything else? And I've seen 2 sides of this play out. So there's been a pretty hard line drawn in a group that I'm in that says that we're only going to be discussing business, we're only discussing issues around marketing and things like that. And there's been a big 2 polarizing views. Like, some people are like, yes, like this is exactly this is a business group, we don't want to talk about politics or world affairs, no, like, we don't want to talk about that, we just want to keep it for the purpose of what it is. And then you've got this other side that is like, well, actually, no, that is the very definition of in this instance, it's a white woman who owns and runs this group, and they're saying that this is exactly white privilege in action. And it's kind of like, I guess, like, I can see both sides. And one of the things that I think for me, that I think is really important for you, whether it's that regardless of what it is that you believe to be true or real, or what your place is in this, I think it's important to raise topics for discussion. I think it's important for people to have a place for that. And I guess in that instance, you're going to have people who are going to agree with you and people who are not going to agree with you. And the truth is that there will be some people who will be like, yep, I'm with you, I agree with you, and it's your business, it's your group, so I'm gonna, be respectful of the place that we're in. And I think this beautiful thing that we've got at the moment is that we do have places where we can have these discussions. But your groups, your pages, your profiles, you can make whatever choices and decisions that you want to make on yours, right? So if you want to keep it like, and this I guess comes into group guidelines and the conversations that you want to facilitate or be a part of or allowing the space for, you have an obligation to set those parameters up the way that you want them to be set. You've just got to make sure that people know what the boundaries are and stuff like that. And people are either going to like it or not. And then they've got the choice that they can either stay or they can go and do whatever. But it does really, I was on a show called Ticker TV in the last, it was in the last 6 weeks or so, maybe even the last couple of months. And we were talking about what topics of conversation should you be actually weighing in on in your page. And you don't have to weigh in on everything if you don't want to. You don't have to weigh in on anything if you don't want to. You can keep your content so that it is kind of like straight business or, in regards to whatever it is that you're selling. But then whatever causes you are passionate about, then you're welcome to, if you want, you're welcome to talk about those on there. But you've got to be willing to be really vulnerable and allow, if you're going to open the floodgates of something, then you've got to be okay with the conversation, happening, right? And not, I guess, also not feeling attacked if people don't agree with you. Everybody has their own opinion, and I think everybody having a space to be able to articulate their opinion is important, but under what parameters and under what guidelines. So I think that that's a really important conversation. And I guess the other thing that leads to is a lot of people ask me, but how much of my own beliefs, how much of my personal stuff do I really want to share? And I guess, the thing is, to me, it's I want you all to be sharing as much as you can, as much as you're willing to share with your audience about who you are, what you're about, what your beliefs are, and what all of these kinds of things, the things that you're passionate about, the things that you're really an advocate for. And that usually has the next question being brought up, which is, but why, Nicola? Well, let me tell you why. There's this person and then there's the next person. It's like these trees, there's that tree, that tree, that tree, that tree, that tree. They've all got the same features. And if you think about it, there are 1,000,001 people out there selling content marketing. There's 1,000,001 people out there selling transformation. There's 1,000,001 people out there selling hairdressing. There's 1,000,001 people out there selling all of the things under the sun. So what is it that's actually going to make you resonate with people? And I'll tell you this, it's the things that you share outside of your business that are really important, because it helps people to get to know you. It helps people to feel like they're getting an insight into who you are and things like that, right? And I also think it's really important to not, don't self-censor yourself. Talk about the things that you're doing. Talk about the things that you're passionate about. Talk about your history and why you think the way that you do. So, for instance, I have 3 children. I'm married to my very fabulous, most of the time, husband. And I think the thing is that a lot of people are if I didn't talk about that, then there's this assumption that I don't. And I don't know that because lots of people have told me. So for some people, the fact that I've built up a business where I've done multi-millions of dollars in sales online, they're like, whoa, really, with 3 children and I'm married and, I've got all of these balls that I'm juggling, that blows them away. For other people, the fact that I live in the middle of freaking nowhere and I've been able to do this here without being in the city, without being able to network, without being able to do all of those things, it's really important. Some people love that I've got music in my history. Some people love that I can't play for shit. Some people love that I play roller derby. Some people you just don't know what it is that's going to stop people in their tracks and have them go, you know what, this is my person, this is my guy, this is my girl, this is, this is my spirit animal, as somebody shared with me last week or earlier this week. And it's just like, wow, like sometimes the things that you don't think that are going to help people to get to know you or be inspired by you are the very thing that actually helps them get to know you and be inspired by you. Now, what happens from there? Well, they learn to like you even more, and then they trust you, and then some of them will buy from you, and some of them won't. But I think the other thing is this, you guys. It's the deep stuff that really helps to connect people. It's that stuff that you share from a place of vulnerability. And I don't think, like, a lot of the questions that I get asked are, well, how much do I share? And, where do you draw the line? And my advice is always, you share as much as you are willing to share. Some of you know that I've got domestic violence in my history, and I'm a massive advocate for women's safety. And yeah, I know it's not all men, so let's not jump on that bandwagon, but it's a really important part of my story, in the sense of, building resilience and being a fighter and a survivor and, all of the rest of it. And there's other things that have happened throughout my life that I'll talk about a lot, and, following your heart and your soul and your mission, and finding a way to communicate that out there online. But all of these experiences that you have help what make you you. Right? So it's almost like if you're unwilling to share those experiences and those stories and your beliefs, and being like vulnerable enough to go, hey, I'm still working through this, and I'm still learning about this, or I'm still, this is the stuff that's really important to me, and this is what I really advocate for. I'm all for being inclusive, for example. And, it's just, I think that the more that you can talk about that stuff, and advocate for the things that are really important to you, even if, they might not seem super important in the scheme of how you market and how you create content. It's actually really important, right? It might not feel like it, but it really, really is. I talk about it a bit like the disco ball, right? So we've all got multifacets, and you are multifaceted, and all of the things that shine and make you you, some of these things that you don't think are going to be impactful actually really are. So, that's that. I think in light of the stuff that's happening in the US right now, they're the types of things, in terms of this, really ingrained racism and white privilege and all of this. That's the things that I'm really going to be working more on and learning more about, because I think we actually all have an obligation to do that. So that's me today. So I guess the big thing is, as well, with that, is that you're the boss, right? You're the driver. You get to lead the conversation. You get to build in whatever boundaries it is that you want in your stuff, and just be okay with putting those in place, and then sticking to them. So that is that, my friends. If you've got any questions about Contentology, the Rebel with Soul Content Academy, or the Radical 30-Day Implementation Challenge, which are all starting on Monday, let me know. I can't wait to host you. I know some of you who have been popping in this morning. Hey, Dave, Casey, Joe, in there. Hi, Margaret. Hey, Carol. Hey, Bonnie. I'm looking forward to welcoming a lot of you in. So if you've got any questions, let me know. Contentology is only $97 for the whole entire month of helping you and inspiring you to create these types of content that is complementary to the business content. Rebel with Soul Content Academy is this mix between, how you create content, but then also how you create authority marketing around the business stuff and the content marketing, and how that weaves in and is complementary. The 30-day challenge is all about kicking your ass and getting you implementing more. So that's the rundown of those three. The links are in the comments. So outside of that, I wish you a very fabulous and amazing Friday night. If you are not in Australia, I wish you a very fantastic Saturday. If you are in the land down under, or anywhere else that you happen to be in the Southern Hemisphere, I'm going to go and help my husband chainsaw some trees down. Wish me luck. I'm not looking forward to it. So, I love you. Get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it, and remember, the world is ready for your brand of awesome. All right, guys, talk to you soon.